Good to see everybody. Obviously, Western Michigan, I thought our team played really, really good. But when you watch the tape, there are a lot of things that we can do better. And I think today was a good day for us. This is a Monday of game week, and so we normally go through our accountability from the previous game. A lot of good things that I saw on tape, and a lot of things that we have to continue to get better at. But one thing I thought was critical for us. We created an edge and an identity in practice, and I think that carried over in games. Something that we talked about last week is being better on offense, protecting the football. I thought we did that. Obviously, we had one turnover that would do more to a hip drop tackle than obviously turning the ball over. And then obviously defensively, we talked about taking the ball away, and I thought they did an excellent job in that area. And then special teams. So we talk about being good in complementary football. I thought guys really displayed that on Wednesday night, but there's still another level that we can go, and that's what we are chasing, that greatness as a football team to play our best football in November. Obviously, we're playing Akron next week. The last time Akron came here, they really embarrassed us, and I think that's something that we have to look at as a football team and as a staff of getting ourselves back reset and refocused against a very good opponent. I think this team plays a lot better than their record. They played a lot of tough football games, beat Eastern Michigan a couple weeks ago. Obviously played a tough game against Buffalo where they were able to score, I think, 23 points in the fourth quarter. So, offensively, everything runs through the quarterback. I think he's a tremendous player. Coach Moorhead does a great job offensively, stressing you horizontally and vertically. And I think he's going to use the whole field and make you defend the whole field. And that obviously creates, stress on the defense. So we have to have a great week of preparation on defense, being able to tackle in space. They really have some dynamic wide receivers that can make plays on the perimeter, and the quarterback does a good job distributing the ball. Defensively, we played against this defense a couple years now, and I think Coach Tippersaw does a great job on defense, mixing fronts from a 3-down front to a 4-down front. And the thing is, they're going to play a lot of bear against us, so we have to have bear answers in regards to loading the box to try to stop, the run game first and foremost. So we have to have answers. We got to take shots down the field. We have to, play action pass and do some different things to get guys in different spots. So it's going to be a tremendous challenge for us offensively. The coaches are working extremely hard on the game plan. Got back late yesterday, and we put a lot of time into getting ourselves where we need to be from a game plan perspective. And then obviously special teams. I think Akron does a great job on special teams. They have a punter. He can kick a bunch of different kicks. He can put the ball on the ground, put the ball in the air. And I think they have a tremendous effort in special teams units. And so we got to make sure that we get ourselves ready for this game in every aspect of the game, because we don't want to take any play for granted, and I think that's important for our team to know. I think, they beat us 44-13 the last time they came here, so we know it's going to be a tremendous challenge. We got to play our best football, and looking forward to the preparation that goes into it this week.
What did you feel the game last Wednesday, other than the Notre Dame game, that may have been your best game of the year?
No, I think we can play better defensively, to be honest with you. We gave up 200 yards rushing to Western Michigan, who's a really good, rushing football team. But we did not play well on the defensive line. I thought their offensive line, really got after us and made us uncomfortable. And we have to respond, and that response needs to happen in practice. So, our defensive line has been challenged. We're going to do a lot of good work this week to make sure that we can continue to sharpen our edges so we can play the type of style of play that we need to play on the offensive line and defensive line.
And then Coach, after the season, they Antonio Brown and Dan Blaze both going to be gone, and Jalen Poe and Taylor Johnson having the flashes they've had so far. How do you feel about the future of this running back room?
Yeah, I think our running back room is only going to get better. Telly Johnson is not the only freshman that could play for us, if I'm being honest. Amir Smith can play for us. Romello Ware can play for us. Elijah Porter can play for us. It's just a matter of they got other guys in front of them. So we have a tremendous young group of running backs. It was hard to pick Telly, to be honest, out that group because any one of those guys can play for us. And so those guys are highly motivated. On the compete team, they give our defense a great look week in and week out. And, it's no guarantee that Telly will be our starter next year. No guarantee Poe will be our starter. So those guys know they got a tremendous amount of work ahead of them with those other guys coming along.
Around week to week right now, is he gone for the year with his knee?
Yeah, it wasn't a knee injury.
Okay. Well,
So it wasn't an ankle injury. So, he may have a good chance to play this week. So, good news on him. I think, he's in a good spot to get himself back where he needs to be. And we got practice tonight. I look forward to him getting out there and being able to help us.
I'm sure you were concerned when he left. As much he couldn't put any pressure on or anything.
Yeah, I was concerned. There's a reason the NFL is taking out the hip drop tackle, right? So it's kind of hard to manage, right? But obviously, somebody falling on the back of your legs is not a knee and it's not an ankle. So I think he really survived that situation the best way possible. So, I think he's in a good spot, getting himself where he needs to be, and we'll get him ready to play.
You mentioned the running back room depth. Does that Brown's availability aside, one way or the other, does that factor into how you use Telly these last 3 games to try to preserve his red shirt?
No, I think, if I'm Telly and I got a chance to, play significant snaps, why redshirt, right? Because if you're good enough, you're not going to come back 4 more years. And if you're not, then that's that. So, we're going to bring players in here that we feel like can have an opportunity to continue to enhance themselves, and that's up to him. I'm gonna give him the option. If somebody's going to give you, the ball and you got a chance to separate yourself, because Jalen Poe is back, and I'm sure he wants to play too, and Gavin Williams and AB. So all those guys are competing for snaps. So I'm excited about the competition. I'm excited to get on the practice field tonight and start working and putting the game plan in. And, we'll see, which guys separate themselves.
Did Johnson play before Western Michigan game earlier or not?
He played against Ball State.
Okay.
So Ball State was his first game, and obviously Western was his second. Yeah, so, my thing is if you're good enough, I ain't coming back for 4 more years. I can promise you that. So I'm going to get my degree and keep it moving.
Coach, you mentioned the hip drop tackle. Has the NCAA at least started the conversation to get that outlawed? Because like you said, it was a huge play in the game. AB ended up fumbling the ball.
Yeah, I'm on the rules committee, and that's something that we talked about. It's just hard to officiate, right? In the NFL, they have a lot more resources, so they spent a lot of time. We actually had the NFL officiating crew explain the indicators. It's almost like targeting, right? There are indicators to the hip drop tackle that, obviously they are training their officials to look at and get out of the game. I don't think in college we at that point, but we have had those conversations in the meetings that I've been a part of to figure out a way to take the hip drop element out of it. But when you're dealing with young players, right, that kid was just trying to make a play or get the guy down the best way possible. I don't think it was intentional. I think he was just trying to figure out a way to get the ball carrier down. So I think the hip drop tackle is a concern because the injuries are catastrophic. And I think we avoided that situation. But when you look at the information in the NFL, the knees, people breaking their legs, ankles, the severity of the injuries is something that they thought were severe enough that they needed to make a change. And obviously college football follows the NFL model in a lot of ways. We just got to make sure we get the right information.
I think would it be for the program another win, you'd be bowl eligible playing an extra game?
Yeah, I think it's big for our seniors. I think our seniors have put a lot into our program. And I talked about to our team a couple weeks back about, let's get bowl eligible as quickly as possible for the seniors so they can understand that they have another game to play. This is obviously our first opportunity to get bowl eligible, and I think that's a big deal. We're not going to put added pressure on ourselves. We want to play our best football, but you want to send the seniors out the right way. And to me, the right way would be similar to how we sent our seniors out last year. So we need to play for those guys. They put a lot into this program. We got a lot of seniors and a lot of guys that had a tremendous amount of impact on our program. And I would like to get those guys at least the peace of mind knowing that they season will be extended.
It's like an extra spring practice too.
Yeah, no, we got a lot of young guys that we want to get developed, and I think that's important. We already have a schedule made out for a development plan. We have a lot of kids that can play for us right now that's just not getting an opportunity because we've been, relatively healthy. So, but I want to get those guys another opportunity to make a jump before spring ball to get those guys closer to being ready to play.
What did you see working for Ethan on Wednesday?
He played quarterback the way that he needs to play quarterback in our offense. He was very efficient. His ball location was excellent. He didn't put the ball at risk. And obviously, the way the game played out, we didn't need to throw the ball as much. But we feel very confident with him throwing the football. And if Akron decide they want to load up the box, then we're going to take shots down the field, and we're going to let him distribute the football. And when he's protecting the football and handling situational football in a great manner, that allows us to be our best version on offense. And I thought his 2 minute before the end of the first half was excellent. How he handled it, how he moved guys, he clocked it, how he handled the red zone when we got down there. And I thought, for him, that's how he has to play because our ability to run the football will always protect the quarterback, as long as you protect the football. And you're going to have opportunities to be in one-on-one situations. And when you get on one-on-one situations, you have to win those matchups.
How do you see this performance kind of catapulting him forward?
Yeah, I mean, he should have great confidence to get back to the practice and execute at a high level. He executed really, really well last week. And I told him early last week he was going to be the starter because, Josh was dealing with an injury. Last week, he's back healthy now, but so I told Ethan, this is your football team, and the way he practiced last week was the way he played, and I think he has to stack those type of practices for us to be the type of offense because we obviously know he's a talented thrower of the football, and if we can have balance with a quarterback that's going to protect the ball, we become extremely dangerous on offense.
Key for him, he's back healthy again. I mean, where he's had some injuries this year.
Yeah, no, he's healthy and, feeling confident. Our receivers made some plays for him last week. Obviously, against Ball State, they let him down a little bit with 5 drops. So I think the last 2 weeks, what he's been able to do at the quarterback position is really what we envisioned for the whole year. And, sometimes it's better late than never.
Coach, often throughout the season you talk about playing complementary football. I know even though the defense gave up 28 points, they still had 3 turnovers that were able to keep points off the board. What was it like to see all 3 phases firing on Wednesday?
Yeah, first of all, it was great to have turnovers, right? And turnovers created momentum. And I think, Santana with the pick on the fake punt, that created a lot of momentum. And we scored 21 points off of 3 turnovers. So that is a big key to the game and changing momentum in college football. So hopefully we can continue to be opportunistic on defense. I know we gave up some yards defensively, and I'm sure they're going to work to minimize those. But being opportunistic on defense and creating turnovers and protecting the ball on offense is really a good indicator on who wins and loses games.
And the kick return was big also. I mean, they kind of took their momentum away after they scored.
It was huge. Cam is doing a nice job as a kick returner, but also the guys blocking for him. Those guys are straining and giving tremendous effort on the kickoff return, and Cam hit that seam, and it was all she wrote. So excited about our special teams continue to get better. We put a major emphasis on that. Adam Bresky is doing a nice job making sure we continue to focus on the details of performance on special teams, because a lot of those guys are some backups or some down the line type guys that doesn't play offense and defense, but they have to embrace their role of being great on special teams.
Coach, I know Trayvon was out for a couple of weeks, but he's been able to come back with a bang. He's had quite a few big games. What's it been like to have him back in the offense?
Well, it's good to see him healthy, and making plays. I think obviously Ball State was an anomaly for him as far as his ability to track the football. But last week he showed what he can do, and obviously we're going to give him more opportunities. Last week, we had the lead, playing with the lead. Obviously, you're looking to find ways just to win the game, but we're going to create more opportunities for our receivers in the passing game to make sure we make sure that the defense is have to defend the whole field.
And Coach, what's it like for you to have three receivers, Dane, Cam, and Trayvon, who could also be very lethal returners and special teams?
Yeah, that's a big deal, right? It's been years that we didn't have guys that can catch the ball. So to have guys that we have a lot of confidence in, being able to not only catch the football, but to advance it and create positive momentum for your offense creates advantages. And I think that's important. When we talk about complementary football, special teams is a big part of it. And normally a big part of special teams is your returner. And to have Cam Thompson and Dane as our punt returner gives us a lot of confidence that we can flip the field in those areas.
Coach, I know a lot of what he does doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but what does a player like Brock Lampy mean to the team?
Brock Lampy is a tremendous football player. He has some great blocks, some pancake blocks, and really we don't score a touchdown before the end of the first half without him returning the football on kickoff return, and I think that's important. Along with that, I want to take a minute to talk about our offensive line. Okay, I don't know. This might be the first time in my tenure we didn't give up a sack or a negative yardage play. And normally that is a testament to the offensive line. I don't have the exact statistics on that, but when I looked at the stat sheet and we didn't give up a sack or a negative yardage play, to me, that means your offensive line did a great job. And those guys take pride. They have some goals that they want to attain in the month of November. I thought that last game was a good start. I thought Coach Meadows does an excellent job with the offensive line, creating that mindset and that mentality of how they need to play up front. And then he does a great job putting them in situations where they can be successful. So I was proud of the offensive line and their effort. Want to mention our seniors that played: Logan Shernitz, J.J. Lippy, John Champ, Evan Buss, and Matt Schooley. Those guys, Matt Schooley is playing a lot of football for us as well up front. And just want to, point out those seniors, along with Evan Malcor, who's been a steady performer for us at the left tackle position.
Take us through what you saw on the 91-yard kickoff return for the touchdown.
I basically just really, went with the game plan. I had caught it. We went field, so flipped the field, and Andrew made a good block. Cut up right off of Andrew, and I just saw green grass from there.
Did you guys see that on film that you could break one? Prior to the game?
Yeah. There was couple plays. They had let up, I think, 3 or 4 kickoffs before, so you kind of see like they were crashing down a lot. So we schemed one up.
For you guys on defense, Coach Hammock talked about the importance of the 3 turnovers that you caused. What worked so well to get you guys back to getting turnovers again this week?
The DBs, man, they were working hard this week. We tip our hats to them. They were max prone a lot. We couldn't get a lot of pressure, but when we did, Ray Thomas on the one that Nate picked, pushed the guard into the quarterback and threw off his throwing motion. Nate was able to come down and make a great play, but the DBs definitely saved us because, that max protection is hard to get through. So DBs are playing great with technique-wise and other things like that, so they had a great game out there.
What do you see in those turnovers that have you confident as a defense that you'll be able to continue to force them as the year goes on?
Basically, it's everything that goes on in practice during the week. Like, those guys watch a lot of film. Those guys study all the coverages, know where they have to be at the right time at the right place. JD driving back in that zone, catching that pick across the middle. Santana keeping his eyes alert on punt safe. Nate coming down and making a play. We have ball hogs, and they know where to be at the right time, and they practice hard and they watch film hard, and that's just going to keep them rolling after that.
And Skyler, you guys have about 200 yards rushing against Western. What did you guys kind of see that maybe wasn't working as well in that game, and how do you kind of improve going forward?
I take all fault for that. Yesterday was one of those games, or 2 days ago, was one of those games where us as a D-line, specifically at the 3 technique position, we got a little too nosy trying to make plays. We have to do a better job of doing our job and staying in our gaps. I spun out of my gap way too much. It's something that I don't usually do. If you look back from now, so in the first half of the season, we got out of our gap way too much, and then getting leaky yardage after that. There was a play where I crashed down into my gap, spun out of it, and then he leaky yardage for like 12 yards, first down, and then they scored after that. So we have to do a better job at the 3 technique position of closing down those gaps before we try to potentially make a play. But it's all about making the play for the linebackers first.
Their running back, and probably the best you've seen so far, at least in the MAC, Western Michigan's last week. Is he probably the best guy you guys see?
Yeah, I would say so. That guy was fast. I'm not gonna lie. I watched the TV copy back, and they were saying he was a track star, and I definitely could see it. He was able to find those gaps that we weren't doing our job, and he was exploiting it. All their backs did a great job, though. That was probably the best back we've seen all season.
Cam, for you guys on the offensive side of the football, throughout the season, the passing game hasn't always been the best, but this week it was very efficient, and Ethan looked real good, and you guys all looked good catching the ball. What was working so well to have such a successful game against Western?
We just found the openings and coverages, I feel like, and Ethan was making the right reads. O-line was blocking and straining, and definitely having, the running backs that we do. I feel like they give us a little bit more of a offensive, like they expand our offense a lot with having our running backs, and with them making it hard for them to tell whether it's a run or a pass with motions and other stuff like that. We were just able to find the opening coverages.
And then for you on the offensive side of the ball, I know Coach Hammock, he doesn't shy away from showing the young players their opportunities. What was it like to see a guy like Telly get an opportunity like that, win Player of the Week, and just have an all-out great game?
It's definitely crazy because, me and Telly talk about it a lot, and I was really just waiting kind of for his opportunity, and just seeing it, it was really, really nice to see.
Can I add on that? When Telly was on the scout team, he was killing us, man. I mean, that guy was running hard, and you know what I'm saying? Hammock watches all the film, whether it's scout team or not, and that guy was working hard until he got moved up. And when he did get moved up, he told me before the game, he said, "Hey, Sky, I'm a dog." And I was like, "I know you are." And then obviously, AB went down very unfortunate. When he went in, he made the most out of it. But that guy works hard. He was killing us on the scout team. Our defense is pretty good, but he was making things work on the scout team. And to see him get moved up was very amazing. And what he did was just, I'm proud of him.
For you other running backs that we haven't seen yet that are really good.
Yes.
Like Hammock says, we have
Yes.
depth. And
Yes.
I second him to that.
Skyler, for you, I know AB went down in this game because of a hip drop tackle. You play on the defensive side of the football. What are our coaches doing to make sure that you guys are staying away from stuff like that? Because it's not necessarily easy to avoid, but now there's so many different ways that a defensive player can get penalized just for making a tackle.
Yeah, especially if you're going to the next level. Hip drops are banned now, but we work tackling every day. We focus on roll tackling, like if you come from the side, grabbing them and then just rolling on a 180 to the ground, taking them down right away instead of dragging. You got to run your feet on contact, and we do a good job of that to avoid that. But obviously that was very unfortunate. But we work on more of a roll tackling style, or just gang tackling and run your feet to stop his charge initially. So yeah.
Guys, I know both of you have probably been on the scout team a time or two in your time here. What does it say about Coach Hammock that he will reward you for doing well on that aspect of the team, getting the other guys better?
Yeah, I was on the scout team for last year from really the first half of the season, really. Right when I got to NIU, I was on the scout team, and in the first week, I could really remember, Skyler probably remember too, he had after in the huddle, he said Cam could play for us and that we need to find a way to bring him up. And ever since then, he's been kind of on my side and just helping me throughout my transition here.
Yeah, Hammock does do a great job of rewarding guys. LaDon, Bryant, he recently got moved up. And, with me, I was on the scout team my first year here in 22. And I remember Hammock saying, like, I was as good as any guy that Coach G was playing with. And from there, obviously, that was my first year ever playing D-line collegiately. So I just took it week by week. And, next year I ended up playing, and now I'm playing at a high level. So just very thankful for Coach Hammock because he definitely does give guys a shot. And you can see that now with, like, Telly, LaDon, Demopolis, all those guys worked their way up. So, yeah.
This one's for both of you guys. I know the season may not have gone how you wanted it so far up to this point, but you just beat a really good football team. Is that one of those games that you guys realize your true potential and can build off of for the rest of the season?
I think we knew our potential when we started the season. It was just being able to play at a consistent level. We can keep it consistent, but everybody knew what the potential was before that. But this is definitely a game just to prove, like, we are that team that people know we are. No matter how many games we won or lost or who we lost to, we still are a dominant team. So we knew our potential at the start of the season, but we always knew what we were going to do. And obviously we're showcasing that now, but we're going to keep it consistent now.
Yeah, I think Skyler hit it like right on. I mean, we already knew what we could do and what we can and still will do, and just play at a really high level on offense and defense. So.
Back home again for the first time in almost a month. So I'm just talking about MACtion at home here and having a chance to come back home and build up that man.
It's definitely a really good feeling to come back home on a win. Coming back home, just playing at Husky Stadium is a really good atmosphere, and I mean, one of our fights is to protect home, win at home. So we're gonna want to make sure we do that.
I didn't even realize it's been a month, but it does feel like a long time since we've been there. But like Cam said, we want to protect our home. With it being MACtion playing on a Wednesday. Let's see how many fans we can get out there to make it, as action-packed as we can. But playing at home during MACtion is definitely a special feeling, especially being on national television. So, the guys are excited and we're ready to compete.
It's like playing during the week, or does it really matter?
Only thing, since we're home, guys can wake up for class. We might be up late, but we can just go to school the next day and not drive 3 hours and then try to wake up for class. But besides that, it's just football.
Yeah, I like it. Throws off my schedule a little bit, like day schedule, but other than that, it's good.
It was reported somewhere over the last week. I know Skyler shared it that NIU has seen the biggest increase in attendance this year in college football, percentage-wise. What has it been like to see so many more fans in the stands for you guys this year?
We're super grateful. After the wins and the losses, we still have a huge amount of fans that come out to support us, and it means a lot because without them, basically we're nothing. You need a crowd, you need the fans, to cheer you on, and we really appreciate that. So to have a huge turnout this year is amazing, and we hope that it stays the same throughout MACtion.
Yeah, we as a team we really appreciate it, and definitely just having the fans that come and they're really loud too. So that gives us an extra edge on offense and defense. So.
This one's for both of you. So you both talked about the importance of, playing at home and getting a win at home. And this season, being the MAC team at home and the last time MAC came in town, as Hammock put it, he embarrassed you guys. Just how much of a chip is that on your shoulder to kind of get the better on Wednesday?
Definitely a lot. I'm from Youngstown, Ohio, so Akron is 30 minutes from me. So that's like every year it's a real close game to me. Just playing Akron this year at home because I was there at 22. It's gonna feel really good.
Yeah, that was definitely an upsetting loss. A lot of Coach Hammock told us today, he was like, you guys better remember that feeling when they came in here and dominated us. I think it was 44-13 or something like that. But yeah, it definitely puts a big chip in our shoulder, and we're looking to compete. Akron's a good team, so and they've been playing pretty well this year. So we're looking to just dominate at home and not what happened in the past happen again. Not trying to repeat the past here. So it puts a big chip on our shoulder, and everybody's motivated and everybody's ready to get the job done.